Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. We go to Memphis, Tennessee, where a man was taken to a hospital after he accidentally shot himself in the parking lot of a Bass Pro Shop.
Beautiful.
Officers say they responded to the shooting at 4:17 p.m. Last Monday, like 2 Mondays ago. Man told police he went into the business to sell his gun. However, he ended up not selling it because of the prices he was quoted. They were going to fuck him.
They always do.
Yeah.
Give you like 30%.
Yeah. The man said he got back into his vehicle and was loading his weapon when he forgot there were bullets in the chamber.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, God,
So-
what?
I think he brought in a loaded gun to Bass Pro Shop. That's why he forgot there was a round in the chamber.
I was focusing on the impossible thing that was written that said there were bullets, plural, in the chamber. But
hey, two bullets, one hole.
yeah. I think you're right. I think they walked around and didn't even bother to clear it. And
Just some jackass, old timer. No offense to any Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop workers that listen to us, but it's all every time I go there, it's some old codger that hasn't actually gone to a shooting range in like 15 years.
If it's someone who works in the gun department of a Bass Pro or a Cabela's, and they're offended by us saying the people who typically work at the gun department at a Bass Pro or Cabela's are fucking idiots, they're probably not offended because they understand that is also the case.
Very true.
They're probably
Very
the one that isn't. So,
and we
anyway,
thank you.
yeah. So as a result, police said a round was fired into his left thigh. He was taken to a hospital in non-critical condition. So, hey, remember when you're trading in that gun and they're going to fuck you over when you leave, make sure you clear it after the, maybe they probably didn't load it in the store. Probably not. No. I'm just wondering about all the ridiculous possibilities.
Right. I wonder if they have the like empty, what do they call it? The clear chamber jar that a number of gun stores have that is like, oh yeah, my gun's clear. Zing.
Yeah.
Like,
none of the ones
nope.
around me have that, but I love it when I see that in a gun store. I do like it.
It's shocking how full it normally is.
Oh, I know. I wonder if some just don't do it anymore because they're like, we filled it up every 3 weeks. So we just don't do it anymore because it was scaring us.
It made us feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, so here's a little behind the curtain on this episode. We tried to record last night. We're recording Monday, December 1st at 9:34 p.m. because we tried recording last night and there was something wrong with the internet between here, the UK, and Omaha. Here being Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We record over a service that's based in the UK. I think it's in the UK. It's super fast. Never been a problem. All of a sudden, we have like 3 seconds of lag happening while we were recording, and it was not working. Like we could not carry on a conversation. It sounded terrible.
Yep. We did the clap test like 4 times.
Yeah, we did the clap test, and I would hit my clap, and then Jeff would clap like 2 seconds later. I'm like, this is not happening. I tried to see if my boys were gaming and causing a problem. It may have been a Rocket League download, but I don't think so. Our internet's really good. Like, our boys are online playing video games all the time when we record, and it's never been a problem. So I think it was just there was something going on in the internet causing the problem, and we'll never know exactly what it was, but we do know that Jeff now has a 10mm pistol.
Yeah.
He has joined the 10mm gang. And
1 centimeter. Whoop, whoop.
Whoa, a whole centimeter.
That whole centimeter.
Oh, yeah, that was about how much dick I had trying to fish it out when I was freezing my ass off in Montana.
Well, we'll get to his dick later.
Oh, dude. It's so bad when that happens. Anyway, so let's talk about your centimeter, Jeff.
Yeah, so the last time we talked about my centimeter, I had literally just bought it. Like before we got on, I had ordered it from one of the local gun shops. local gun shops, monitor your social media. I still haven't heard back from one of the ones I asked if they had one or could order me one. So the other one responded. So that's who I went with.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the one I ordered it from is like on the other side of Omaha. And so I was in that area and I was like, oh shit, I can pick up my gun and stack 2 appointments together. And then I got the slowest checkout guy ever because in his defense, he was running a range solo, but he was the most inefficient human being I've ever dealt with.
So he's the only guy in a gun store that also has an indoor range and has customers in the range.
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, I got to go check those guys out. I'm like, cool. Why am I not filling out the 4473 right now?
Could you give me the form?
Yeah, like I filled this out before, like not my first time. And nope, I putzed around and then, and it's really annoying because I had an appointment after that. And so I was just sitting there while he was like bullshitting with the customers. I'm like, I know you're doing like good customer service right now, but I'm really fucking annoyed. But anyways, so I got my gun and I'm super happy with it. Here, fun fact about it.
We'll tell people what you got in case they don't know.
Oh, yeah. So I got the Smith & Wesson 2.0 10 millimeter 4.6 inch barrel.
Like the regular MP10.
The regular one, not the ported Precision Center or Performance Center.
Yeah.
So fun fact I learned when I got home, the 10 millimeters fit in 9 millimeter holsters.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, so I don't know if they are allowed to advertise that or, like if there's some type of liability that if they're like, oh yeah, you can totally fit a 10 millimeter pistol in a 9 millimeter holster and then the holster has issue if they would be liable or something. But like, I don't know that I've heard them brag, but I tried my Safariland holster and the JM Custom Kydex that I use for concealed carry and it fits. I don't have to buy any holsters. I'm so excited.
Did you have to like loosen it at all?
Nope. Literally
really?
Zero. Yeah. I think the slide profile must be the same. But yeah, like literally zero changes and it fits fine.
The M&Ps they're like slightly heavier than a Glock, like a regular polymer M&P. Like if I'm not mistaken, they weigh 2-3 ounces more than a Glock. I wonder if they're just a little bit beefier. Like, because my 10 millimeter Glock, it does not, like, I cannot put my Glock 20 in a Glock 17 holster. That is not a thing that can happen.
Right. And that's because, like, the grip is, of course, bigger because 10 millimeter bigger.
Right.
But the slide, I guess, is no different. And I know the Glocks use their big frame. So I think if you had a Glock 21, you can put a Glock 20 in the same holster. But
right,
I don't know. I don't have a Glock 45 or a M&P 45, so I don't know. I haven't been able to check that. But yeah, my 10 millimeter fits, and so I think I'll be battling Owen at the next dark match for high limited. No,
I'll be in there with you. I'll be in the Centimeter Gang.
Yes, Centimeter Gang unite. Yes. Hey, we're making a belt category. Let's make a 1 centimeter category.
I love it when Hunter's on our show, but I know he doesn't listen to our show. But just in case 100%. Hunter listens, hey, Centimeter Gang on a belt. Special edition.
Oh, and I feel like he'd be down for that since he shot Centimeter at Nationals. But there's one thing that my brain has to get over. First magazine through that gun, all malfunctions.
Really?
Yeah. So it was all failures of feed. So I don't know if it was. I threw some grease or some grease on the rails. So like I know to give it a little bit, but it was not happy to start with. And me and my buddy Bill was kind of a dick, and he goes, "You think you're limp wristing it?" And I'm like, "I think I'm gripping this thing like a motherfucker."
That's interesting.
Yeah, and what was funny is, so we get through that first magazine, and I was only using one magazine because it came with 2, and one was loaded with defensive rounds. Which, Jesus Christ, $2 a round for defensive ammo it's stout, and it only comes in a box of 20. So I I shot 4 of the defensive rounds and called it good. After shooting the defensive rounds, gun worked fine. Shot another.
Just had to break in the spring or something?
I guess. We shot like
4
3
rounds
more.
doesn't seem like enough to break anything in, though. Even if it's really pissing hot, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, after that, we fired probably 3 or 4 more mags through it, and not an issue. It even I have a case of 40 that I bought a long time ago for stupid reasons, and I brought a box of it, and it does cycle through the 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
The only problem is if it misses the extractor, it shoves it down the throat of the barrel because it's so long. So the only way to clear the malfunction is to drop mag and shake gun until round come out.
I have never had it. My Glock has always caught the rim every single time. It has never missed that. I've never had a round go in too far into the chamber, putting 40 in the 10 millimeter. The first time I ever saw this was actually I was teaching a private permit class on a farm, and this dude had a Glock 29, the compact 10 millimeter.
Yep.
And he's like, "Yeah, these will shoot 40s." I said, "What? Really?" And my brain was not understanding. Okay, I suppose if the extractor's catching it as soon as it's stripping the round off the magazine, well, yeah, that would work. But if it doesn't, it's catching it after it goes into the chamber. So, that was something I always assumed that the extractor was getting it once it slammed home, but I don't think that's the case. I think on Glocks, at least the more I thought about it, it's probably catching it on the way in.
Yeah, you'd expect. I mean,
because it's hitting it harder there, or just as hard there as it is when it's slammed home. So, I mean, you'd have to watch super slow-mo video of it or something. But no, I just found that incredibly interesting that it actually works.
Yeah, no, it's a super nice little thing that I can now shoot this 40. I don't know that it'll be controversial statement of the day. I don't really train with my concealed carry gun that often, so I don't really care.
Yeah, if you tried to shoot 40 in a match, you would not make power factor because that chamber's really big.
Oh, so, that's why it felt so nice.
Yeah, because there's not much pressure.
That explains it.
Yeah, most of the 40 I shot through my Glock 20 was old competition rounds, which fire great in a 40 caliber gun. I think they were around 800 feet per second out of my 10 millimeter, and so I mean, the chamber is literally however much longer, and it's not pressurized as well for that reason. So yeah, it's not gonna be as fast out of that gun. But hey,
I mean that makes sense. Now, one thing that this has made me want to do is get a grip or get a gun with a grip the size of my hand, because goddamn, that gun feels good in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
It
fills it without Did you change the back strap?
Yes, yeah. So I put the extra large back strap on it, but once I did that, this gun just feels good in my hands. I'm like, oh, this is what a gun is supposed to feel like when it fills your hand.
Yeah, and you shoot Shadow 2s more than anything.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that tac sports might be in my future, but I'm saying that tac sports might be
in your future. Yeah, no, the fact that you weren't when you shot, was that Owens tac sport you shot?
Yep.
When you weren't immediately like, oh wow, this is so much better. You did not have the epiphany I thought you were going to have. I was very surprised, but I just don't think you shot it enough to understand.
Yeah, I think I'm a gun snob at this point. That unless I do a hard training session with it, that I'm not going to notice the quality.
Or you're emotionally invested in the gun already.
That's true too. Is that Shadow 2s have become a little bit part of my personality.
As have the M&P.
Right. Well, one of our Reddit one of our listeners who follows us on Reddit, he tagged me into someone was asking a Shadow 2 question, and he's like, "Oh, Jeff, he's the expert here. Talk to him." I was like, "Yeah, this is fair. Okay, here's what you need to know." But yeah, I may explore slightly bigger grip guns.
Mm-hmm. No, I think the Tac Sport 2 is the way to go. It's just gonna automatically.
It's a fat Shadow 2, right?
Grip wise, yes, a much fatter Shadow 2. I don't even have palm swells on mine, and it is way bigger.
And so that might be what's throwing me off, is that I wasn't shooting Tac Sport 2s, I was shooting Tac Sport oranges.
Well, the grip size is basically the same.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the one part. The one thing that might have bugged you as big as your hands are, the TSO has like a rounded off trigger guard. It's not squared off like the Shadow 2. So it did remove a little capacity for your hands to be under there. So that might have been why you weren't as jazzed about it. The newer one, I don't really notice the difference between the two. Like, I shot a Tac Sport 2 at Area 3, one of the demo guns that they had there. And I didn't really notice anything about that part of it. I just noticed that it was a little heavier, a little more front heavy. Mine, the dust cover is totally rounded off. You know, it's like with the slide off, it's a horseshoe, basically. And that one, it's kind of squared off. There's a lot more metal on the dust cover of the Tac Sport 2. So, but the trigger guard, for people that's an issue for, is a very good change that they made. It didn't really bother me. It meant nothing to me. My hands weren't that big. But for those that it was a factor for, it was a pretty huge change. But, I think you'd like it a lot. Like a lot. Okay. I'm going to change up the order just slightly here, Jeff. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow. It's only $3.57 a month, and you'll get all of the second episode that we do sometime later on this week that will come out on Friday. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow, just $3.57 a month. It's also $29. r/NAS on Reddit, NASS. That's the Reddit where we post the things and talk about stuff, and we're going to talk about some stuff that was there. MW Activewear. Michelle actually reached out to me last week or 2 weeks ago, before I went elk hunting, asking, "Hey, I want to get these knocked out, so you're not doing it to me at the last second." And I said, "That's a very good idea. Thank you so much, Michelle." Because I usually, it's like the afterthought, like it goes on sale and it's like, "Oh yeah, jerseys. Hey, Michelle." So she just, knowing we're going to get them again, she reached out, did a very cool design for Great Plains, redid the logo, and it looks awesome. Those will be on sale the same day the match goes on sale, January 1st. Great Plains Section. Well, that's another match I can add to this. Great Plains Section Championship will be a different weekend this year. We did announce it here. When was that? A little while ago. It's going to be June 6th and 7th this year, or 2026. The reason is my daughter's graduating from high school, so I can't have it the same weekend that it has traditionally been. And I know if you're hearing this going, "Hey, wait, you told me it was going to be the last weekend in May." Yeah, I was telling people that for a while, and then I found out some key people who I would really like to be working the match were not going to be able to work the match. And one of them is not Steven. He might actually miss the match, even though he's the section coordinator. But it was sort of a trade-off. And when he told me that, I'm like, "Oh shit." Well, he's still going to try and get it off, but I just thought that would be funny to say. Anyway, Great Plains Section will go on sale January 1st. It's in Canton, South Dakota once again, and it goes on sale January 1st. The match is June 6th and 7th. There you go. Northwoods is about a month before that, May 2nd and 3rd, up at Forest Lake. First place payouts for CO and LO started at $1,000. 4 half-day squads. The rest are all single day. And then PCSL Belt Championship, April 18th and 19th at Mission 160 in Texas. There you go. All right. So we hit it all. There was a controversial reason you wanted a 10 millimeter, Jeff.
Yeah. So
what is the controversial reason?
If certain armored up men come breaking into my house, I want to break their ribs with a pistol.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know its armor piercing capacity, but I'm willing to test it.
I don't think it's very good, but most pistols aren't very good. But
we shall see.
They'll cause a lot of bruising.
Right. Hey, if I can break a rib or two, it's gonna make someone have a bad day.
I did not end up carrying my 10mm in Montana once because, well, I had a 7mm Magnum, and I didn't kill anything. So
yeah, right. But
I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag.
7mm.
Yes, a lot less energy though. By miles.
Minor details.
Minor details. There was a video that got posted on our Reddit. I think you posted it, and I ended up seeing it on Instagram as well. Patrick Grillaman or Grillaman Patrick, he was on our show last year or this year sometime. It was a while ago, but had him on. He was the guy that shoots the Desert Eagle in USPSA matches, and he did this video with 5.7 defensive ammo testing its lethality on a deer.
Yeah, that one as we know, I know very little about hunting, so I posted that, was like, this feels wrong. Explain to me why my feelings were validate my feelings, please.
I will validate them. I did not care for this. Like, I understand thecuriosity of it and doing it, and I think this looks like Texas.
I think so.
There's just like a whole bunch of deer, and there's all sorts of like high fence and feeding stations are all totally legal there, and like he's not breaking any laws here. I don't want to say that. Using that ammo in my state would not be legal to hunt a deer.
What about your state would not make it legal?
Because the cartridge has to have the bullet has to have 500 foot-pounds at the muzzle.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
To be legal. And then
right.
The only caliber there's no caliber restriction. It's just, does it produce 500 foot-pounds at the muzzle?
So you could make Bubba's pissing fucking hot 9mm.
Yeah.
As long as it's making 500 foot-pounds out of the barrel. Let's go.
If you did like 9 kernel, major not good enough. It'd have to be like 9 kernel. Then maybe it would be hot enough to make that 500 foot-pound mark.
New phrase.
Soft 10mm, like Winchester White Box or like, ball 10mm you buy in a store. It's going to be, it's not legal because it's not a expanding bullet either, but that would probably be on the low side as well. But now in the video, he shoots the deer takes off running and dies within like 20-30 seconds. So like, it was an ethical kill. I would say that would not be reliable every time for it to go that way. Because the video is pretty graphic. If you've never seen a deer gutted or butchered, like it's a bit graphic. You get to see the gut bag there hanging out. But the bullet didn't cause a hell of a lot of damage. I shot a deer with a 10mm last year, and both lungs looked like exploded balloons. They're just mush. These lungs are pretty much intact with little shards of lead and a little bit of bleeding trauma. Now, the trauma caused the deer to die quickly, but I didn't love it. And I don't mean to throw any shade at Patrick or anything, but it was... I understood the point of the video, and it was interesting to see what a Hornady VMAX projectile did, but I don't think it was. It was some other ammo, SS197SR, whatever it is.
I think that's like the military, like armor piercing something or other. Like that's the one they were supposed to shoot Russians with when they came over the Fulda Gap.
This was some sort of this wasn't a armor piercing bullet. This was like a
those are the black tips.
I thought it was a blue tip, like
yeah. This one's blue, but the one I'm thinking of is I think the black tip ones.
No, this is like a polymer expanding bullet.
It's one of those annoying things for me. Like so, I'm not a hunter, but like I understand hunting. I don't like watching things die, but I believe in ethical kills. And so I struggle with it, but there's also the nerd side of me that's like, that's fascinating information.
Right.
Because
no,
like,
and I also found it interesting from that aspect. You know, it was a video I was kind of torn on. You know,
Yeah,
I didn't love it. But at the same time, I understood the curiosity, and like the military has done this with live animals in the past on a number of occasions.
The famous Chicago 45 tests where they General Thompson went out with all of the main calibers that they were testing and shot cows in the Chicago stockyards.
I can't remember what it was. I just re-listened to the audiobook of American Rifle, a biography, fantastic book. I believe this was done with some testing between 5.56 and 7.62 around the time the M16 was adopted. I believe, I could be wrong about that. There was also testing done back when they were experimenting with the Spitzer bullet originally. Like when the 3003 was becoming the 30-06.
Yep.
The 3003 was like the old school blunt headed bullet, you know, rounded off like a 30-30 bullet. And the pointed Spitzer bullet was being tried out for the first time. Much sleeker, much more aerodynamic, but also much lighter. But it could also, because it's lighter, it's going faster, you know. And I believe I know in that book, somewhere in there, they talk about shooting pigs to test lethality. I don't remember with which rifle it was or any of that, but no, it was interesting. It was presented in an interesting way. It sounds like these were deer on their property, so it's basically unlike wild game, this is actually their herd, so it's essentially their property. So, you know, my hand wringing about it being like not a great thing for as a hunter, like there's people who go hunting for elk and they're not actually hunting elk. They're shooting a pen raised elk that was released into some guy's land, and and you don't even need a license like that. That's disgusting. I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, that's one reason I hate most African hunting is because that's what it is. Hey, let me drive up to animals, shoot them in the side, and then
it's not exactly the same though either. In that case, yes, it is one particular targeted animal that they, in that respect. So, like, to call it hunting is a stretch.
Well, and like when they pose with the animal, as if
they achieved it, like when
because I went to Africa I'm pretentious like that, and we went on safari. The animals see the trucks as rocks, essentially. So you can literally drive up to them. We were within like 10 yards of lions on multiple occasions.
God, that would be terrifying.
Oh, dude, didn't even give a shit. They didn't even wake up. They didn't even look at us. They don't care. Like, that's why I have such little respect for African hunting, because the animals don't even react to you pulling up, because trucks pull up to them like 12 times a day. So for them, they're like, oh, you fuckers. Like, I'm trying to take a nap right now. Like, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. So, but yes, I would say I was scared, but when we landed in Africa, they were like, hey, there's lions at the end of the runway. Do you want to go see them? And I'm like, fuck yeah. So we took the Land Rover over there. I was in the front seat. I saw them. I proceeded to fall asleep. I was so exhausted from traveling that this is how I know I'm not built for the wild.
Yeah. No, you would have hated camping with me and my buddy. That's for sure. The thing that's funny is how like all the tactards in the CCW thread that this was posted in are just talking about what a great cartridge the 5.7 is. And I'm like, I did not see a lot of damage on the inside of this. Like,
yeah,
it caused enough damage, but like, I don't think this result would be reliable. I really don't, based on what I saw in the video. There's just not a lot of tissue damage done.
Yeah, it was more a conversation around shot placement than anything.
Really? Yeah. I mean, he put it in the exact right spot.
Yeah, didn't he put it through the heart?
No, I think he was trying to, but I think it just hit lungs.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty tough to catch especially in a deer, like the lungs and heart there's only like one little area in the lungs where they're lined up with the heart. Otherwise, a lot of the heart is kind of below. If I'm remembering it right, because a lot of the diagrams of their anatomy is not exactly like the lungs are pretty big.
Okay.
The heart is about the size of your fist. Well, no, it's about the size of my fist, not your fist, Jeff. The deer hearts, they're pretty good sized. But the lungs are much, much bigger. And the area where the heart actually is, it's like very forward, directly below the shoulder blades. So if you shoot like directly above the leg, which is where I usually aim, like I've never hit the heart because I'm always aiming like directly above the leg. The shoulder blade is like slightly forward. So if you aim straight down from that is basically where it is. But like you don't have to shoot the heart. You know, you put it through both lungs, it's going to die very, very quickly.
Right, unless you're shooting it with a .22 caliber bullet.
And in which case then, you know, and it looked like, as far as I could tell, it looked like it hit the rib, so that bullet shattered when it entered and it splintered, and that's what it looked like. It looked like there was a bunch of splinters. The bullet did not exit. Now, I've never only once have I shot a deer where it exited, but I also fucked up that shot really bad because I got really excited because he was really big, and it went through its left front leg and scraped the sternum, and then my dad found the jacket of that bullet in the opposite inside of its other front leg. It was a 300-yard shot, and I was so excited I forgot to hold over.
Yep.
I was shooting like it was Call of Duty and like, oh, bullet go where crosshair is. No, that's not how real life works. And then made the second shot, and then it went down very quickly. But that bullet, like most of the deer I've shot have been 30 caliber bullets, either a 308 or a 30-06, and it just evaporates both lungs. Like, is a 300 Win Mag more than you need? Yes, for a deer, it absolutely is more bullet than you need. Is a 5.7 enough? I think there's a reason why the state of South Dakota does not allow a bullet of under 500 foot-pounds at the muzzle to be used. I'll just leave it at that. So, but
Okay,
it's still an interesting video.
It's super interesting. Can I ask a really stupid question?
Okay.
So the bullet fragmented and went everywhere. Is there a way to get the fragments out, or do you just spit them out while you chew the meat?
I had that happen one time. I shot a doe with it was a 30-06, reasonable deer caliber, but it was ammo loaded for elk, and fairly tough bullet. And the bullet, it was not a bonded bullet, though. It was a Nosler partition, which literally has a copper partition, lead in the bottom, lead in the top, but it's not bonded. And it's the doe moved like right as the signal from my brain to my finger was pressing the trigger. My eyes, like, you know, when you call a shot with a dot, like, you know, that's where it is. Well, the same thing happens with a deer and a crosshair, except this deer moved like just ever so slightly in the scope as the gun was about to go off.
Okay.
Like that nanosecond before the gun jumps, it moved just a tick. Well, that movement that it made caused the bullet to go rearward, ended up shooting it in the guts, hit a rib and some spine up high, and the bullet fragmented a bunch, and I had a bunch of fragments in the back straps, which just, of the one place you don't want to have fragments is in the best meat of the animal.
Right. And so do you just work your way through it with your teeth, or do you,
I didn't fish them out because then you're just going to ruin the meat. But you could see where they went in. They were very, very tiny because there'd be like these little bits of blood would come out of them, like as I was butchering it and cutting them up and stuff. But I never found any fragments like chewing.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
The deer I shot last year, I hit really high in the spine and completely fucked up those back straps. I didn't even use them as stakes. I just cut around the damaged part, and then the small amount that was left, I just put in the grind with the rest of the burger. So that was a bummer. But
things you learn about hunting.
Yeah, and that's why some people use all copper bullets, like solid copper bullets, because that is an advantage of bonded bullets as well, is that they stay together. The the bullet doesn't fragment as much. Like the lead core doesn't come apart. The negative of the copper bullets is they don't expand as much, so they don't cause as big of a temporary cavity. You know, that shock wave is a little smaller.
Yep.
But if you're using a big, fast bullet, it's still causing a hell of a lot of damage. So, there's a guy, the guy on the Vortex podcast. He loves the copper bullets. Ryan Muckenhern, is that his name? Loves solid copper bullets. And he usually goes with, like, if he's using a 30-06, he'll shoot like the 125 grain solid copper. He'll go light for caliber just so that it's going real fast and expands better, which makes a lot of sense. But, yeah, the only animal I shot with a solid copper bullet, I fucked up the shot, and that was the one I ended up finishing off with the 10 millimeter last year. So, but I learned from that as well. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of hunting, I went on a little bit of a hunt.
Yeah, you did.
And
we missed you.
Well, listeners of this podcast didn't miss me because we recorded in advance, so stuff still happened. I missed you, though, because we didn't record last week. I went 2 weeks without yakking at Jeff over the internet.
I was in withdrawal. Like I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah,
I had a whole Sunday to myself. I was like,
God.
so what do I do with my hands? Like I don't. And we got a snowstorm, so that didn't help.
So I'll skip to the end. No, I didn't get anything.
Boo.
My buddy got a muley buck. Nothing special, nothing fancy, but there was. It was it was the last week of the season that we were there. So they'd been hunted hard. There were quite a few hunters around. Most of the hunters around, though, were after deer. They were not after elk. So we were in the minority as far as that went, but we did not see a single elk. That was very disappointing. On Wednesday, we went on a very epic 8-mile hike. Because we did have some intel that there was elk in a certain spot that a friend of ours had been to and had he had been there recently and saw elk in this vicinity. So, of course, we'll go check it out. The problem with this hike was that we were going to gain from where we started. The top of that butte was 400 feet up, and there was not a road or a gradual way to get there. At least as gradual as I would have preferred.
Okay.
So we basically turned into fucking mountain goats, scaling around one part of this butte, and I was scared shitless. I could not believe. Ben is the name of the guy I went hunting with, and he was like, "No, we're doing this. We're doing this." I'm like, "Okay." And he's apparently part mountain goat because he was having no problem going up this. And I'm like being very careful. Also, my knees are bugging me going up. And so I'm taking the steps with care because of that. My legs were in pretty good shape. Like I didn't really have a lot of soreness in my legs after all this hiking around, but we're like scaling this very steep side of a hill and sort of like side hilling it, rounding our way up. And it was not the greatest footing. And then it snowed while we were up there. So then on the way down, there's snow on top of it and it's slippery. So that made it really super fun. I was fucking terrified on the way down. I was unhappy on the way up. I was scared on the way down. Like, oh shit, this is. If we had got an elk up there, first off, we mutually made the decision. If we see a whole herd elk, we're only shooting one of them. Because there's no way we can do this. We can pack this thing out without having to do it like two of us. If we just bone all the meat, like take the meat off the bone, get all the meat we have to get off, and required parts we have to bring down with us, we're doing it all in one trip between the two of us.
Yeah,
you can't do that with two elk. We'd have to do it twice. And there is, even with half the elk, there's no way I could have gone down that shit with that on my back. I'm glad you
survived because the show would not exist without you.
Yeah, it would have just disappeared. Like, what happened? Oh, Andy died.
Yeah, you'd be like, "Will you continue the show?" No. Like this is Andy's show that I participated.
Here's the thing: I put in the notes here that I almost died. This is not when I almost died.
You are not selling this whole like hunting thing to me.
I would not go back to do this hunt where I would go back, but I can get as good a hunt in my state where it costs way less than $1,400. So, and not just being a tightwad, it just was. I did not expect the number of hunters we ran into. But that's sort of a thing now. Like, it's gotten popular because of all these hunting assholes on the internet, on YouTube, and like, all right, look at deer. Now all of a sudden, there's everybody everywhere now. So that was hard. Like 8.5 miles. Like my GPS said we went up like 8.1. His said 8.5. So I don't know. We were in the same place the whole time. So that was hard. I really only had one crack at a deer to shoot, and I did not get it because I'm stupid.
Okay.
So here's the thing with deer. They don't have the best vision in the world.
Okay.
Their sense of smell is their strongest sense. Like, they will never question their nose. Their vision's not great, but one thing their vision is good at is detecting movement. So I'm walking through this tree-filled area along the Powder River, and it's just screaming, this is whitetail territory. And I was correct.
Yeah.
We saw whitetails. I see this whitetail buck walking along after I'm behind all the cover of a bunch of trees. You know, it's almost like if you've seen Band of Brothers, like where there's a hedgerow and there's all this cover, and then there's like one little gap and you kind of like stick your head through there. Like that's where I was when I found this deer. Okay. And so I'm like, sweet. So I get my rifle off my shoulder and I run the bolt to get around in the chamber. And then I look up and the deer's looking at me and his tail is pointing up in the air. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
What does that mean?
Whitetail's tail up in the air means danger, Will Robinson. It's time to run.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
And it's a signal to other deer. But as soon as like their hackles are up, it's like their tail will go up. And he's looking right at me. And that was so dumb. Like, I know better than this. I had all this cover. Why didn't I just back up around the corner of all these fucking trees and run my bolt and get my bipod ready to go? And no, I didn't do that. I just stood there in the opening, moving around like a fucking rookie. But it was just like, this was on Friday morning, last day of hunting. It'd been a whole week of not even coming close to having a crack at anything. And I got excited and I got stupid. And people who think hunting is just, you just go out and you just shoot something. Go fuck yourself. It's so much harder than that. If you go to,
this is why I don't participate.
If you go to one of these farms where you don't need a license, you just go shoot something. Like, that's not hunting. That's literally harvesting livestock. It's the same as shooting a cow and butchering it. Okay. That's not what I like to do. I like it's hard. The hunting I do is hard. You know, I mean, sometimes you get lucky and it's easy. Like 10 minutes after shooting light, all of a sudden, it happens. Most of the time it doesn't. And yeah, so I got stupid and then that happened. So that was unfortunate. Tuesday, we were camping in a tent and Tuesday got pretty cold.
I'm already out.
We had propane heaters, you know, like when we were hanging out in the evening, like we'd get back from hunting, we're hanging out in there and, you know, having a sip of bourbon and some Mountain House. By the way, I have to give Mountain House some credit. They did something to change the formula of their food or the recipe, because I had very little and very normal smelling farts the whole week. It was amazing.
That's nice.
Because normally Mountain House gives me these farts that only Mountain House would give me. And they were awful. Just awful. Like the worst gas you can have. I don't know what they did, but this is the first time in a while I've eaten nothing but that for like more than 2 days. But I was pleasantly surprised. So well done, Mountain House. The deathly farts are gone. But it got cold. Very, very cold. And I couldn't get warm. I'm in my 0-degree sleeping bag. And there's a vent in the tent. There has to be. So, like, it helps keep the moisture down on the inside because there's condensation forming inside the tent. Like, it gets all frosty on the inside. And not just from us breathing, just from the moisture in the air. And we were both freezing. Like, you'd be awake for a while, and then you'd like close up the mummy sleeping bag a little tighter, and then you'd fall asleep for another 10 minutes. Then you wake up, you're awake for another half hour, fall asleep for a half hour, awake for it was terrible.
I'm already out.
Yeah,
already out. You are not selling this whole hunting thing to me.
You know what? All the rest of the nights were fine. It was just that one that really sucked. And in hindsight, if we would have I told him to leave his propane tank behind because we didn't have room in the truck. Should have brought both of them because then we could have just run one of them overnight and it would have been tolerable. But it was pretty rough. Now we're gonna do a little game here, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
The game is called "What Incredibly Important Piece of Equipment Did Andy Forget to Bring With?"
Oh, Jesus.
It was not my dad's rifle. My dad's rifle and the ammo made it.
The first question, my first thought was, you forgot the gun, didn't you?
Nope. That was not forgotten. But what incredibly important piece of equipment, do you think it was that I forgot?
Your heavy winter coat?
Nope. It was not a heavy winter coat.
Let's see.
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
The meat carrying backpack.
No, that was that made it. Both Ben and I had the same backpack, and he hauled his mule deer out with his, and he's always done it with some other half-assed thing. He did it with like his National Guard backpack or like rucksack. He's done it with some other weird things, and like the duffel, like the military duffel.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's got shoulder straps, but like all that weight's on your back. As opposed to a dedicated meat hauling, cargo hauling backpack where most of the weight's around your hips. He's like, oh man, this is a game changer. I feel amazing. Nope, it was not that. You got 1 more guess left, Jeff.
Did you forget the bourbon?
No, there's a picture of me drinking it.
Oh.
Inside the tent. No. Okay, now think of it in terms of me going to a match. Or maybe even Steven.
He hasn't been master for
your
belt.
No, I didn't forget the belt, but it's kind of like a belt.
Your holster? What?
Sling.
Oh, Jesus! That's actually useful.
Yeah, it sure is.
You had to carry your rifle everywhere.
I got luck. Here's the thing, though. I did not have to actually carry it the whole time. Because my backpack actually has a built-in rifle carrier. Now, it's very inaccessible when it's there. It's literally just to get it to where I am. Like, I can't get it out quickly and try to shoot something. That's not going to happen. But it does have this pocket that hangs onto the stock. And then behind 2 cargo pockets, each of those have 2 clip straps. And then it can be strapped onto it. It's the Alps Outdoors. It's like a $200 backpack instead of like a $700 backpack. It's not super light, but it's super, super useful. Anyway.
Yeah.
I forgot a sling.
That's annoying.
It was. And then once Ben got his deer, then he said, you can use my sling now. So then I got to actually carry it with a sling. But yeah, that was really annoying. So... I mean, we had fun. It was an adventure. I saw some beautiful country. Good God, it was gorgeous. The view from up on that butte we were on, Jesus, it was terrifying. Like looking off of it, I mean, you could base jump off of that cliff. I mean, 400 feet up. It was gnarly.
So wait, did you talk about the second time you almost died? Because like we've only gone over the first.
No, that was the last thing because this happened on the way home.
Oh, okay.
On the way home, so there was a snowstorm that hit from like
The Midwest?
Montana to Chicago. Like a lot of the, Montana's not in the Midwest, but
For our southern listeners, it looks like cocaine, but it's like really cold and it lands on the ground. That's called snow.
it's sort of like that stuff that forms inside a freezer.
Yeah, but it falls from the sky.
Yeah.
And it makes everyone a terrible driver. What's funny is my favorite one is that people in trucks with 4-wheel drive slow and careful. People in 2-wheel drive fucking Econo boxes are passing you. And you're like, what the fuck?
I generally disagree with that statement because it's usually people with 4-wheel drive are hauling ass, and it works well in snow. It doesn't work so well on ice. And there is a difference between driving on snow and driving on ice. Driving on snow is not as dangerous as driving on ice. There's still traction with snow as long as your tires are good. If you have bald tires, you're fucked. But if you have, I just have city tires. I don't even have like all-terrain tires. And my truck did great in the snow.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of them. People driving a 4-wheel drive vehicle, like a Suburban or a pickup or something, and they're just hauling ass going by. And then it's always funny when a few miles later you see them in the ditch because all of a sudden they tried to stop. And the 4-wheel drive and the good tires, well, the tires kind of help you stop, but the 4-wheel drive doesn't. And if you start stopping too late, So on the way back, we're on Highway 212 in Montana, and we're going over some river or creek or something. As we're approaching the bridge, there's a fairly long bridge. I see coming down the other side of the hill to this bridge is a semi-truck. And I remember thinking, I don't like this. So, driving along, the road has got snow on it, but it's not super slippery yet. It's just like a thin layer of snow on the pavement. Yep. Not really slippery. Visibility's a little iffy, but not terrible. And as we're driving across this bridge and I'm keeping tabs on the semi-truck, I realize, he's kind of in my lane. And the closer we get, I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm over as far as I can get. We're on a bridge. I don't have anywhere to go. Like, I don't have an escape route.
Jesus.
It's like a concrete rail to my right. The fact that I did not see sparks flying up from the side of my truck, I was amazed because I thought I was hitting that, and this truck is over, like getting closer. And by the time it was like almost contact distance, both me and Ben are just like, just screaming.
Yeah.
And no contact at all. I couldn't believe it. He was so far into our lane. It was crazy. The fact that I still have the side mirror on my truck is a miracle.
That close. Jesus.
I thought that at minimum, I thought the mirror was gone. I thought we were going to scrape his wheels. At minimum. Or I was dead. One or the other. And we just went by and it was just like we didn't say anything for like 20 seconds. It was just like, oh my God, we're still alive.
Yeah, near-death experiences will do that to you.
That's the only one I've ever had. Really?
Oh.
I've never been that close to death, ever. Unless something went weird in a surgery and I didn't know about it. But
those don't count.
I don't think so. And I don't think that happened. But no, that is the single most terrifying moment of my life. Not even close. It was real bad. But yeah. So I almost died.
I'm glad you survived.
Me too. Okay. Well, there's that. Man, that was a whole lot. That was a whole lot. Any questions you have about my hunt?
Okay, so you said you wouldn't go back to that spot again.
Probably not. No.
Would you go because you were in Montana?
Yeah, I think at this point I would probably pay for a guided actual hunt. You know, I mean, people hire guides and still strike out, especially with elk. Like, it's not a guarantee unless you're like on a farm.
Yeah, or my dad's property, whatever. I really
I
want
go
to say,
back not next year just because I spent a pile of money on this trip. So
yeah,
but I think if I did it again, I would probably. And a guide is way more expensive than the hunt I just went on. But
yeah. Oh yeah.
if I'm going to hunt out of state, I want to give myself a better chance. So I would probably pay for a guide.
Would you do a horse one?
Yeah,
Would
I
you
would
walk
for sure. I mean, when I see side by sides, I'm kind of like gross.
Yeah, that feels like the Africa hunts where you're just like, I'm just going to like drive up to where
But
they normally.
The thing
are.
is, though, you can't just drive anywhere either, though. I mean, if you're on your own land, you can. If it's private land, they can drive wherever the hell they want to. But a great way to keep animals away from you is drive a loud vehicle. You know,
Touché.
especially if it's on a place where they sell hunts. That's not going to work very long. Oh, the loud vehicle with the really loud noises that knock over our friends is coming back again. We should run away.
I wonder if Eco has an ATV.
Oh, a battery-powered ATV? I'm sure.
Hell yeah. There you go. Electric ATVs. Let's go.
But I have used bicycles hunting before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I even had a big cart for hauling out the deer. I never got a deer with it, but I hunted with it, like to get to where I was going. The funny thing is, though, there's hunting areas in South Dakota called walk-in areas. And here's the funny thing. I asked the game warden this. I said, so a walk-in area, I can't ride my bike. No, you can't. But I have a cart behind my bike, like a cargo cart. Yeah. So could I push the bike with the cart attached to it to where the deer is and then pick up the deer and then push it out? Yeah. But I couldn't ride the bike. No. Because it's a walking area. Yes. It doesn't prohibit the bike. It just prohibits the riding of the bike.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Things we learned. The hunting. Anytime anyone asks is like, why do we have these weird like gun laws and shit? You're like, you know nothing about hunting laws.
well,
most of
who would have
lot
thought of somebody riding a fat tire 4-season bike though 40 years ago? Nobody would have.
True.
Nobody would have thought of using a bicycle 40 years ago hunting. I mean,
True,
maybe in some national forests and stuff where there's trails, but that would be
Right.
just to get to where you're going.
But like our silly gun transport laws, like a lot of them are poaching laws.
Yeah.
Like you must have ammunition in the trunk. It's so that you can't fucking try to jack a deer from the passenger seat as you're driving
Yeah.
by.
And some states have those rules only for hunting.
Yep.
You know, like if you're just transporting firearms like and not hunting, then yeah. But you could be I'm not hunting. I don't have a hunting license. You
Right,
look like
which
a
means you're
poacher though.
Yeah, which means you're poaching like a motherfucker.
Exactly. But
No,
anyway.
In general, I mean, did you have fun?
I did have fun.
That's good. That's the key.
I did have fun. Here's the thing I will freely admit though is when I go on these long hunting trips, the fact that I was with a buddy is what made it tolerable. I don't think I could do a long solo trip ever again. I just miss my family too much when I do that.
Yeah.
It's so lonely. The first elk hunt I went on, I went out for about the same amount of time by myself. I left a day early because I missed my wife and kids so bad and it was going terribly. Like I only had an elk tag and I'm seeing no elk. And I saw no elk the whole time. So it was just like, fuck it. But hunting's sort of like USPSA. I've like been on my way home and quit so many times. But then the next season rolls around or the next match rolls around and yeah, I'm still going. You know. Kind of that same sort of thing.
I feel that in my soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. How many times have you mentally quit? I have at least 4 or 5 USPSA. And hunting, at least that, probably more. But then the next year I'll get 2 really good bucks. Like I'll draw 2 good tags and then I fill both tags. And now it's like, yeah, I'm a master hunter. I do this all the time. This is easy.
It comes in waves. Like by the end of the season, like we've talked about my last major match, I got done with that. Like, do I even want to fucking shoot matches ever again? Like, but then I fucking dry fired the last 2 days because I had nothing fucking else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, apparently meat's back on the menu, boys. Like, I'm 100% not shooting my fucking club match next week.
I wouldn't either.
Because Heidi, I love you. You're awesome. You're a wonderful person. But like, fuck you in a 9 o'clock start. Like, it's not supposed to be over 30 degrees for the high. Like, get fucked.
Still 9 o'clock start.
Still 9 o'clock start.
Can't start at noon. Can't start at 11.
Right. Whereas
can't have an afternoon start.
The Steel Challenge boys. When I was testing my 10 millimeter, I may or may not have not had my membership for my range quite figured out yet because I'm retarded. But I brought my 10 millimeter down, but we started at like 2 p.m. So it was like actually kind of nice.
The Steel Challenge started at 2?
Yep.
Well, they adapted and overcame.
Yep. And they came to the conclusion, you know what we should do? Set up at noon, start at 1, done by 3.
Yeah. In the heat of the day. That sounds like logic.
In the heat of the moment.
I want to talk about one more thing that was on our Reddit this week.
Okay.
But I can't find it. But I see the vet your instructors on the rundown here. But I'm not finding the video. Did you send me that video?
I think so. It was.
Or was that not on our Reddit?
That one was an Instagram one for sure.
Oh, okay.
It went kind of. Yeah, it went kind of viral.
So describe the video, Jeff.
Okay, so you see a gentleman with an AK-47. Always a good start to a video.
Yep.
He's on a standard square range with some USPSA targets downrange of him, and he's pointing his rifle at them. And next to the target that he's pointing at is the instructor. Very confused. I don't know what the fuck's going on. There are also 2 other gentlemen in the video. And the guy with the AK starts walking towards the target, shooting it. I'm going, that's not what? I'm confused. The 2 dudes start pushing this guy, like from side to side.
They're giving him sort of light little shoves from left to right as he's walking towards the target.
And the instructor's just like standing there for some reason. Like I still don't actually know why he was down there, like other than to make a cringy video that would go absolutely viral for all the wrong reasons. But it was so bad.
At the end of the video, it says 0 of the 4 rules violated: controlled environment, pace, work on a very specific skill set. Shooter is working with soft external interference while moving. Finger inside the trigger guard, exerting outward pressure towards the inside of the trigger guard until the decision is made to press. Learning consistent and deliberate trigger press when the decision is made without the rush to move the finger to the trigger while potentially being affected by the next interference. Okay. Well, what if while that finger that's all the way against the trigger guard is on its way to the trigger when the shove happens and then all of a sudden, whoop, oh, Mr. Instructor trying to make a point just took one in the face. This is just like unnecessary risk for the sake of attention on the internet. That's all it is. And it's so dumb.
It's so bad. And I think that this might be the same video, or the same guy posted a video of him doing some type of striking class. And to say that this was bad striking is not good enough. Like this is the shit that like at one point he like blocks a punch and elbows a guy in the ribs with his opposite side. And I'm sitting there going, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. That's not, no, you will die. Don't do that. And he's like punching the other guy's punch out of so that it doesn't hit him or whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. Like, that's not a thing that happens. And it just made me want to reinforce, go to reasonable instructors that are vetted by the community. Now, I know that can be kind of difficult at certain levels.
And not even necessarily correct.
Right.
Like, marketing's marketing.
Right.
So sometimes the marketing works more, like, the marketing makes them seem like they're better than they are. But like
100%.
Here's a tip on vetting the instructor. Like here's a warning sign. When it is very evident from their social media that their preferred carbine is an AK.
That's never a good start. No.
That's not to say that an AK is not viable or you shouldn't own an AK. You should own an AK. If you like them, you should own one. But if a guy who's serious about sort of defensive combat style carbine shooting only puts up videos with AKs or AK variants, maybe look for some class somewhere else from some other person.
Because an instructor, so the modern world, because of all our access to information, has basically whittled itself down to, for the gamers out there, we have min-maxed everything to its highest degree. If you want the best striking in the world, go find a Muay Thai artist. You want the best grappling in the world, go find a jiu-jitsu wrestler, sambo. If you want to combine it all, go to an MMA gym. You'll find the greatest grapplers in the history of man. You don't need to go to some dork that is teaching something like, oh, we can't train this at full force because then people will get hurt. I literally elbow people in the face that like shit. Like we do this shit. If you want to learn how to shoot guns very good, USPSA shooters, 3-gunners, PRS shooters, they will show you the best shit. And that best shit is going to be an AR-15. It's probably going to be whatever PRS meta is. And with USPSA, they're actually going to go the opposite direction, go, whatever you fucking bring, we'll teach you how to shoot it.
Yeah.
Because pistol shooting, it's not really about the gun at most people's level.
No. So another thing too, I noticed this guy, he might be Russian or like of that descendant. I don't know. That might be why he likes that. But what are we calling it? The Centimeter Gang?
The Centimeter Gang.
Centimeter Gang.
One final thing. I will be bringing the Centimeter Gang to my own gym because I'm hosting Lane for his armed combatives class.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. And sorry, I didn't have it in the rundown, but talking about defensive instructors, it made me go, oh, yeah, I'm kind of hosting one, so I should probably mention him.
Mention that.
So anyone near the Omaha area, Lane is a very good grappler, very good at defensive stuff. Knows a lot about guns, kind of an okay GM.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's just okay. He'll be hosting a armed combatives class at my gym in Omaha on the 23rd. Oh, I will get that written. 24th.
Of January.
24th of January. So if you want to take it, it's $200. It's an 8-hour class. You will use your own equipment. So like when you show up, you will have your gun on you. It will be unloaded or else Lane will punch you in the face. But we secure the firearms. We check them. We clear them. He puts a dummy round in it with a flag sticking out of it so that we can visually see that it's empty. And then for the rest of the day, you use your gun like it's your gun. So he goes through a lot of different positional stuff and a lot of different techniques on, how do you fight someone when there's a gun available? Are there times where you shouldn't get the gun out because you got to have both hands to fight? Very fun class. I've learned a lot from it. I highly recommend it for a lot of people. I've had people both jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai guys take it. I've had cops take it, and all of them have found new information from it. Like there's a ton of information to gain no matter what your skill level is.
I really want to go. I just have to make sure that I need to make sure my wife doesn't have plans for me because I don't have a class that weekend. So
nice.
Should be good to go. I'd be very interested to see how bad I am at fighting. Because for a long time I thought I was pretty good at it, and then I bucked him off. And then I hung out with Jeff and found out I am terrible at this. This is why I carry a gun.
There are levels, and the guy who's been doing it for 15 years is slightly a level above you.
Yeah. I mean, but isn't there still, I mean, like, this is not something to count on, I'm not saying
absolutely
this.
not.
But
No.
No. But like what I'm about to say is like I could still get lucky. You know,
Yes.
I could like really good fighters have lost fights because the guy they were way better than got lucky, or maybe they made a little mistake, and all of a sudden, ding, the lights went out, and no one was home, and boom.
Here's a fun fact: is that people who want to get into fights have never been in a fight. People who know about fighting don't want to get in fights because we are all very aware that that we have this off switch. It's about an inch above your jawbone, and when that gets hit, you go night night, and it doesn't fucking matter how much experience you have. You just go night night. And we're all fucking aware of it, and we don't want to. We like Andy said, I've seen the videos of professional fighters getting clocked. Sometimes not by the guy they're fighting. That's the scary part.
I've seen videos of people like getting knocked out,
Yep.
and a lot of them it was like a shot in the jaw.
Yep.
But like when I was in high school or college, like I got in fights, and I recall distinctly getting punched in the jaw, and lights never went out.
Right.
Now, is that just like some people are different, or was the punch just ineffective?
It's a little bit punch ineffective, a little bit people are different. So like,
Okay,
you're a big dude, you've got a lot of muscle in your like neck and upper like traps and shoulders area. So if you've like, this is why in fighting we have our chins down I'm going to say this not knowing if the science is real or not, but this is this is how my coach explained knockouts
your
to me.
educated opinion on getting knocked out.
Right. This is what my coach who knocked out many people said happens. Is it basically it's your head moving farther than your brain was prepared for it to move.
Oh.
And it's that disconnection between the two that throws it off. And so getting hit in the chin knocks you out because it's the farthest point, or it gives the most leverage for the punch to move your head without your brain moving with it.
So like an uppercut to the chin.
Right.
Okay.
Or a hook to the chin. So
Sure.
Again, that's the boxing lore that my coach told me. But you can watch a boxer stand and take fucking blows to the head from a dude who is one of the baddest punchers on the planet for 12 rounds and like 36 minutes of punches to the head and not get knocked out. And you can watch a dude take one fucking light slap to the face and drop like he just got hit by a bullet. It's all kind of fucking random. Again, this is where like the insecurity of fighters knows that you don't fucking know. Like I took a full force front kick to the chest, and I think it gave me whiplash because I got kicked that hard. That had never happened to me before, but and that happened like 6 months ago, and I can't fucking explain it. But like it fucking happened. And so, yeah, fighting is terrifying, and people who understand that don't want to fight. People who don't understand that are like, I want to fucking let's fucking bang, bro. And you're like, this is going to go very poorly for everyone.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be in a fight. That sounds terrible. I don't even want to be in one for fun. Like, because it doesn't sound fun.
The way I explain it to people, it appeals to men's lizard brain. And so we're a simple creature that is just like, I like throwing punches. This is fun. Like, it's stupid, but all of our brains work the same way. And getting a male student to fight, I actually have to like hold them back versus getting like a female student to fight. I kind of have to encourage them and help them to process like what they're doing. Male students are like, so like I can just like punch you in the face like this. That would be cool.
That's interesting. Just the differences between men and women working them with a pistol. It's sort of the same thing. The guys, but the difference is, and it's probably the same in both. The guys think they know what they're doing,
Yes.
and the women know they don't know what they're doing. That's why they're there paying you.
Yes. Oh, that is 100. All men shooting, sex, fighting, driving, all the same. All men think they can do it because they've never have been critiqued by someone else.
If it has tits, tires, or a trigger, men think they know what they're doing.
Yes. Every dude thinks that I'm just going to see red, and that's my answer to all problems.
Yeah. And the enlightened among us know that if it has tits, tires, or a trigger, nope, we don't necessarily know everything.
We ain't no shit.
Nope, don't know everything. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. This has been a fun one, but I need to go to bed. We have to record again later this week because the internet was terrible, but it worked great tonight. So awesome. He is Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.